Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we'll be reviewing the Chevy Silverado ZR2 Bison. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Large Miller Chevy here in Provo for giving me some time with this truck. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. I'll also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Powering this is a 3-liter turbo diesel inline 6 that goes through a 10-speed. Fuel economy is 20 around town and then 22 on the highway, with power outputs being 305 horsepower and then 495 pound-feet of torque. Before I move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So I've got the raised hood with the Duramax badge, and with the ZR2s you actually can get everything blacked out if you want. I reviewed a 25 that has everything blacked out. Anyways, cool with the little light design there. You can see it's painted to match ZR2 logo. You've got the AEV bumper, which is very important. It's a lot more hardcore than the stock bumper. Has a great approach angle. You also get extra skid plates with the AEV package, so it adds a lot of practicality. Tire wheel setup is 275 by 70 by 18 in the front and over in the rear. With this AEV package, you get the special wheels, which look pretty cool. These are great tires. By the way, I've had them on a few vehicles and they do really well. You have a lift on the ZR2 just like the Trail Boss. ZR2 logo there on the side. You can see the mirror caps blacked out. I find it interesting that rock rails aren't standard on the Bison, but interesting. Anyways, Bison logo there on the back. And then the ZR2 does still utilize leaf springs. And then being a ZR2, you've got the Multimatic shocks. And then we've got the big fender flares that have been added too. There's your side profile. This leads us to the key fob where we've got, well, apparently no focus. There we go, lock and unlock, tailgate drop down, you got the remote start. And popping into the rear, protection from the factory. This pops down to be a step, it's the Multi-Pro. You've got a handle there, LED lights. We've got an outlet in the back as well. And then tailgate's easy enough to lift up. Notice it's satin black here on the back. And then you guys can see AEV down below. You've got the upgraded bumper as well. There's the rest of the rear. Now popping inside, you guys can see here with the interior of the ZR2, they don't really change much with the AEV package. So you still have the easy to clean seats. You got the storage there. Pretty cool looking. Storage underneath the seat too. Flat loading floor. Heated seats, cup holders, vents, USB ports. And so you go. This leads us up front where again, nice trim all over. Front two windows are automatic. The mirrors power fold in. You got memory seats, blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. 1,116 pounds of payload. Towing capacity is 8,700. They do give you AEV there on the headrest. Get a nice trim all down the center of the seat. Power adjustments on the side. This does have 4-wheel low, high, and auto. For the heads-up display, light controls. Steering wheel is power adjustable. Here's a quick look at the steering wheel. Nice trim all around. Radio controls in the back of the steering wheel. Paddle shifters so you can manually shift the gears. Practical controls in the front, including for the center. Voice command controls, cruise control, heated steering wheel button, and then your regular windshield wiper stock. Digital gauge cluster, which has a little animation for the tow mode. And then you've got your sport off-road, which is for normal off-roading, and then terrain, which is for rock crawling. And yeah, pretty straightforward with the cluster. It shows you vehicle information, whatever you want it to display, basically. Now, this does come with a 360 camera system, good resolution with the camera system, so you can see out of a bunch of different angles. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, you've got the main part, you've got the shortcut bar, and then you have the side tab there, a couple physical buttons for it. And then the rest of the physical buttons are for different items with the truck, so lane departure, parking sensors, auto stop start, tailgate drop down, hazard lights, stability, hill descent, and then the diff locks front and rear. Trailer brake controls, we've got heated and ventilated seats with this package, dual zone climate, lots of storage in this area, got your shifter, more of that nice trim on the center console, wireless phone charging pad, you got the outlet in there too, pretty solid with the closing, and you got more of the trim on the glove box and then the dash. Heads up display with this, camera rear view mirror, and then power sliding rear window, no sunroof. So it's kind of hard to see because of the glare, but the total MSRP is a little bit over $81,000 with this. And let's see how the Bison performs. Well, Bison, let us set off. And I'll just say right off the bat, I hope that we get this with 35 soon. All they have to do is just stuff some 35s underneath and re-gear it. Or, you know, if they don't want to do 35s, what they could at least do is, I mean, like a 34. I'd be okay with the 34, but still re-gear it. This truck's not slow, but the re-gearing would definitely help out with making this feel a little bit punchier with the extra tire. And even with these tires, it would feel solid. This is a big, heavy truck, so having that would be nice. So torque's good, and this LZO Duramax sounds really cool. It's one of the coolest sounding powertrains out there, if you ask me. And it's got great power, of course. It's all about the torque. It's all about the torque. And what I'll say about this powertrain is, you know, obviously with diesel you got to do DEF, and with this package it's not necessarily crazy fuel efficient, you know, compared to if you get the, I don't know, if you get this in like an RST, like a more street oriented truck. But this is still solid. And the most important thing I think is just with pickup trucks, I mean, fuel economy is somewhat important, but I think people care more so about fuel range. And this still is going to get good fuel range. So, you know, on a full tank, just eyeballing this, so 200 miles of range here. So add another half, and that's going to pop us up to like 250. So this would probably get about 500 miles on a tank roughly, maybe a little bit, maybe 550. And I mean, that's good. That's solid range. And that's what, you know, that's what I would care about as a truck buyer, and that's what a lot of truck buyers care about. Man, this thing it feels heavy. It's not bad, but it feels like you're driving a beast, just a tank-like vehicle. Suspension's really comfortable though. Man, I love the diesel so much. Only downside is you got to do DEF. So with the ZR2 Bison package, is it worth it? Well, here's kind of my thoughts on the whole setup here. I think that if you're not going to do any off-roading whatsoever, I kind of lean towards, you know, AT4 from GMC or Trail Boss from Chevy here. Because if you just want the off-road looks and you want a little bit of capability, but if you just want like the best fuel economy, obviously you want to go for like an RST or an LTZ or something that has more street-oriented tires. It's going to get better fuel economy. Now, if you do off-roading, you got to be honest with the type of off-roading you're going to do. Are you just going to go down forest service roads? In that case, you can still get it along with the Trail Boss. If you do want more comfortable suspension, this is going to have more comfortable suspension compared to a Trail Boss, but you don't have to get the full-blown AEV package to do forest service roads. The regular ZR2 still has a front and rear locking diff, still a very capable vehicle, so I think that would be the route to go. The reason you jump up to the AEV package is if you do off-roading like what I do, where I will do some of those first forest service roads, but then I also go out into the desert on a regular basis where I will run into stuff where I will use the skid plates. I haven't used the skid plates in that Ineos Grenadier yet, but my Toyota Land Cruiser, several times I've used the skid plates. And I forgot it's parked over here. So it is nice to have the extra protection in the bumpers and everything if you're going to do more hardcore trails. And it's not like I'm trying to do hardcore trails, it's just like that's what happens to the roads sometimes with the places that you go to out in the middle of the desert. And And so that's where this would come in, right? You get the extra peace of mind of having the extra protection. And then the other thing is, if you go through, like, sometimes in the desert, brush is a thing. So having a bumper that's not like fancy and painted is nice. So you don't feel so guilty about driving through a bunch of brush if you have to. So I guess that would be another benefit that I would see. But let me guys think about the ZR2 Bison. I think it's a really cool package. And I think that it's just, the only thing that this really needs is regearing would be great for off-road use, and it would help out the on-road acceleration with these bigger tires. And then yeah, if you can't do 35s, just 34s. I think 34s would be like and not necessarily like a super fat 34. I think so this is 275 by 70. So like a 275 or 285 by like 75. I think that would be a cool tire setup on this. Let me know your thoughts.